Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Anxiety to Empowerment YouTube channel where we talk about mental health, meditation, spirituality, and so much more. My name is Amanda Huggins. I am a professional anxiety coach and a meditation teacher, and I am so excited to talk to you guys today about what I am phrasing, what I'm going to call my pink flag phrases. So like not quite red flags, but pink flags. And it's not about phrases or statements that other people say. It's the phrases or statements that we say ourselves and why we really need to pay attention to our language. Okay, so I'm going to explain all of that in just a moment, but before we dive in, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. My mission is just to help as many people as possible, and you sharing this content helps fulfill that mission, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's dive in. So, pink flag phrases. As I mentioned, when I think of pink flag phrases, I'm not talking about things that other people say that create a watch out or a warning with us. I'm talking about our own internal dialogue and the phrases or the things we say to ourselves or about ourselves that could use a little fine tuning. And I'm going to explain what those words are and why, phrases really. One of my big pink flag phrases, when I pick up on it within myself and when I'm working with clients, I'll also kind of keep an ear out for it, is I wish. And I pay extra attention when that I wish statement is dropped into comparison mindset. So for example, I wish I was further along in my career than so-and-so, or I wish I was as smart as this person, or I wish I was as pretty as this person. All of these things were a part of my internal dialogue when I was younger. And I'm not going to get into why that was a part of my dialogue. And for the purpose of this exercise, I'm not even suggesting that you dive too deep into your why on this, because I want to focus more on the shift than anything else. So when I was in that state of saying, I wish this could happen, I wish that could happen, the state that I was in was comparison and inaction. So another way of thinking about that is I was sort of standing on the sidelines, observing people in my life that were doing things I wanted to do. And rather than taking that observance and actually channeling it into action on my end, for a little while, I really just ruminated on it and turned it into jealousy or resentment or fear within myself, like, well, maybe I can't do that. Maybe I can't actually create what I want. And then it starts to get into the judgment territory, and that's not really a category that we want to touch, right? We don't want to urge ourselves into judgment if we don't have to. So I wish is a really big, clear one. There's that famous saying, don't wish, do. So I wish is a big one. Another one that is a huge pink flag is I should. I really should do that. I know I really should meditate. I really should call my grandma or whatever it is. So, very similar to don't wish, just do. If you are noticing a higher frequency of I should statements come up, what's probably going on is you're creating in the back of your minds a laundry list of things that you want to do, and the should is saying, but I didn't do it today, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, I know I should. And so you hear that tone that's even coming up as I say that. We're starting to welcome a tone of guilt into the space. Okay, so what do you do about this when you're in a state of like really just kind of getting into, I know I should do this, I know I should do that. And especially if that's been a pattern for a really long time, like I mentioned, you might have a laundry list of shoulds. The problem is when we have a laundry list of things that we should do, it almost creates this like extra resistance. Like there's so much stuff, I almost don't even want to touch it. So my suggestion is simplify. If there's a million things that you should do, start with baby bite-sized things. And I'm going to use meditation as the example because as a coach and as a meditation teacher, that's one of the things that I hear most frequently. I know I should meditate. Yes, you should. And it doesn't have to be something that is incredibly time intensive or that like takes away from your day. So if you're someone who's like, I should meditate, you don't have to wait until it's 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night and you have your crystals and you have your candles and everything's perfect. Because if that's what you're waiting for, there's a high likelihood that that's probably not going to happen, or you do it once in a while and it's an amazing and special experience, but that might not be sustainable for you. So then it just gets popped right back into that like pile of shoulds. So to simplify is to make a small commitment to yourself with these shoulds. I'm not even saying meditate every day a week, every single day of the week. Why was that so hard to say? I'm not saying necessarily meditate every day. I would strongly suggest it. But if it's high on your should pile and you're not taking any action on it, what if you set a small goal? I'm going to meditate 2 or 3 days out of this week. And that meditation is just going to be for 5 minutes. And it's going to be with an app that guides me through it. If you want deeper meditations, I am going to be posting a couple of guided, probably a little bit longer meditations for you, so you can stay tuned for that. But you see the gist here, right? Like, when there's big shoulds, make them smaller. I almost just said small them. Okay, Amanda. This is the first video I've filmed all day today, so like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not used to talking yet. I live alone. I haven't talked to anyone yet today. We're moving on. Okay, so we have I wish, I should, and I want to. I really want to blah, 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 blah. I want to take that trip. I want to start my own company. I want to reach out to that person. And you know, all of these phrases have the same general energy, right? We're in a state of inaction when we need to get into action. But what I find often with like, I want to, is rather than guilt coming in the way that it comes in with I wish or I should, with I want to, there's like self-sabotage that comes in. So we create reasons why we can't. I want to, but I can't. Let's say that, let's use the trip example. Let's say one of your phrases is, I really want to go on a trip. I want a vacation. I need a vacation. Maybe you can't. By the way, I'm going to pretend that we're not in a pandemic. I can address any questions about like can'ts during a pandemic in the comments. But for the purpose of this exercise, let's say we're allowed to travel right now. Like, I really want a trip, but I can't because I don't have the money. So that could potentially feel like a stopping point for you, right? It's like, well, I want to, but I literally can't. I don't have the funds available. That's true. That's as true as you want it to be. That is true, and that doesn't have to be your stopping point. There are ways to generate money. There are ways to manifest money. There are ways to break down your can'ts to get you what you want. So really, the gist of this is our work is to become problem solvers rather than problem finders, to elevate ourselves to get us what we want, rather than to sabotage ourselves and allow us to stay in the can't. Does that make sense? There's a lot more I could say on this. I am a stickler for language because the way in which we phrase our reality is what winds up manifesting in reality. So when we are constantly feeding our minds or speaking aloud things like, I should, I wish, I want to, I can't, we're starting to create that reality. It starts in the mind and then it becomes real in the world around us. So the best place to start shifting your external reality is inside of yourself, and especially with your dialogue. So I'm going to do a bunch more videos on phrasing and language and how so much of our external world is shaped by the way we speak and think about ourselves, but we'll save that for other videos. If you have specific questions and you want to see a specific type of video, leave it in the comments. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like or comment or subscribe or share. My mission is to just help as many people as possible, and you engaging helps to support me in that mission. So I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.